Hi, my name is Syed Ahmed Hussain, and today I'll be presenting Cloud Computing for Enterprise. So, today's agenda is going to be executive summary. I'll be going over briefly on what is cloud computing. I'll also be explaining cloud service models along with its advantages and disadvantages of the cloud computing. Further, we will go over the economic analysis of cloud computing along with its detailed estimate. Later, we will be going over and discussing the total savings per year. I will also go through the SWOT analysis. Once we are done with the SWOT analysis, I'll be providing a conclusion along with a famous quote. So, let's first start with the executive summary. So what is enterprise cloud computing? It's when a business or organization uses cloud computing services to manage their IT systems and software. But that's not all. Cloud services also provide extra security features to protect important information. It's important for companies, though, to choose the right cloud provider and be aware of potential risks, such as data breaches and vendor lock-ins. So let's talk about what is cloud computing. So, imagine you're storing your files on computer or your laptop or the applications that you have on your that you're saving on your personal computer or laptop. In similar way, basically you can store and access those files and applications on the internet instead. It's kind of like renting space on a server that's located somewhere else instead of storing everything on your own device. There are three main deployment models for cloud computing. It's private, public, and hybrid cloud. So let's talk about briefly as to what is what. So private cloud is when a single organization hosts and manages their own cloud computing resources and only authorized users can access them. Public cloud is when a third-party provider hosts and manages the cloud computing resources and multiple users share those resources over the internet. And hybrid cloud is basically a combination of both public and private cloud resources, which allows for more flexibility and customization. So now let's talk about cloud service models. The main three that we are going to be discussing are SaaS, PaaS, and infrastructure as a cloud, which is IaaS or AS. So SaaS is basically software as a service. It delivers software applications over the internet. Some common examples of that is going to be a Dropbox, where you don't need to, you just access the application directly over the internet. Let's talk about PaaS, platform as a service. It's basically a model where a third-party provider delivers a platform for developers to build and deploy their own applications. The examples that are available are Microsoft Azure and CloudBees. Infrastructure as a service is our third model, which basically offers virtualized computing resources such as servers, storage, and networking over the internet. Examples include Amazon Web Services, Rackspace. So what are some advantages of cloud computing? The very first one is the cost effectiveness. There's obviously no upfront cost for buying or acquiring a hardware. The second advantage of cloud computing is scalability. It actually allows us to scale our applications up and down at peak times or down times. Third is accessibility. Cloud services are accessible from anywhere with an internet connection, since there are regions available and you can actually access your application throughout the world. The fourth one is the reliability and security. So it's highly available as it provides redundancy and ensure the data applications remain accessible. The last is the analytics. So cloud providers provide the capabilities of analytics built in, and so we don't have to get an extra solution for analytics. Next, let's talk about the disadvantages of cloud computing. Some of the disadvantages are connectivity issues and vendor lock-ins, limited control over infrastructure, and hidden costs. So now let's talk about the economic analysis of cloud computing. It helps us in innovation at lower costs and definitely helps in developing new products and services more quickly. Next, I will be talking about the detailed estimate that we have created for the current on-premises IT infrastructure, or as an alternative to that. So the first item in the list that we have is the Amazon EC2, which roughly costs around $111,000 per month for 200 non-DB servers. Amazon Simple Storage costs us roughly around $9,000 with $10 upfront cost. The quantity is around like 200 TB. Next is the Amazon RDS custom solution for Oracle, which costs roughly around $19,000, $734 with no upfront cost. The next item is going to be Amazon RDS for MySQL, which costs us roughly around $28,000 with no upfront cost. Amazon Elastic File System, that roughly costs us around $307,000 with a capacity of 500 TB per month. And Amazon Elastic Block Store can cost us around $152,000, $649. Moving on to the total cost differences. So if you take a look at the cloud estimate, its monthly cost is around $628,000 roughly, and yearly cost is $7.5 million roughly, including the upfront cost. Whereas if you look at the on-premises IT infrastructure estimate, the monthly cost is $1.2 million roughly, and the yearly cost is $14 million. If you take a look at the yearly savings, if you were to migrate over to cloud providers, it could roughly save us around $7.2 million easily. Next, let's talk about the SWOT analysis. Our strengths are large amount of storage, which is basically the infrastructure has a total of 1700 TB of storage, which is a significant amount of and allows for the storage of large amounts of data. High performance servers, definitely the DB and non-DB servers are equipped with powerful hardware components such as high core processors and large amounts of RAM. Dual database technologies, we have Oracle and MySQL. Redundancy and fault tolerance, we have infrastructure that includes multiple servers, storage devices, which enables redundancy and fault tolerance. And then Linux operating systems, the non-DB servers all run on Linux operating servers, which is known for its stability, security, and open source nature. Weaknesses: high upfront cost and ongoing cost, complexity of the infrastructure, which requires significant technical expertise to configure, maintain, and operate effectively. Single point of failure: even though our infrastructure includes redundancy and fault tolerance, there is still a risk of a single point of failure in the system. Opportunities that we have is scalability. This infrastructure can be scaled up and down based on changing needs. Cloud migration: the infrastructure can be migrated to a cloud-based solution, which can potentially reduce the cost and increase flexibility and scalability. And emerging technologies: the infrastructure can be upgraded with emerging technologies. Threats: we have security risks. The infrastructure is vulnerable to security threats such as hacking, malware, or database breaches, which can result in significant damage to the organization. Rapidly evolving technology, the technology landscape, and the last but not the least, the vendor lock-in. So in conclusion, I would just like to say that migrating to cloud can provide our businesses with numerous benefits, including cost savings, increased efficiency, scalability, and improved collaboration. And last but not the least, I just have a quote from Marco Arment, and that is it for my presentation. Thank you very much.